Lesedi's been found along with a secret lantern and markings. We're one step closer to working out the mystery. Alrighty then, so kicking things off with Lesedi. She has now arrived at Sea Dog's Rest and obviously she's in a state of mourning. When you speak to her, she has various dialogue lines, but her main text dialogue is "I can't, not right now. Just leave me alone." She doesn't say much obviously because she's in a state of grief, in mourning, but a theory developed among the community is she does look guilty. Obviously, grief and mourning can look similar to guilt, and so, could she have murdered him? Who knows? A lot of stuff is up in the air right now. But she has arrived here. It's a bit not suspicious, but some of the stuff she says, leave me alone, I was such a fool, why like this, does make you think that she had something to do with it. Alright then, moving on to Demarco. So the music box next to him, when we believe the source of this was a social media post that Sea of Thieves tweeted they needed a certain like goal. But now the music box is playing Seek the Dead, as opposed to We Shall Sail Together, literally saying, telling us, we are seeking the dead. But the most interesting part is that there's a new interactable piece of rock. Well, it's actually a slip of paper in between rocks, but it reads when you inspect it, "From a shell of red into water deep, the truth shall come to light." Now this is a clue to the next part, as a red coral shell has appeared on the island. Now this shell does have a meaning. As you can see, it's a conch shell and the tip of it is pointing in a particular direction, and it's also red, symbol of death. If you point your compass in the direction that it's facing, which is east by southeast, and you then swim into the water and swim that way, east by southeast, you'll eventually get to a chest. This chest you can interact with, it's glowing red, and you can reach inside. Once you do this, you'll be given a lantern. This is called the Fallen Sea Dog's Lantern, which has very, very special properties. When you equip the lantern, it works the same as the Ferryman's Lantern. It reveals we don't know what of the past, but we can certainly see some special things. It's got a green flame, just like the Ferryman's Lantern, and it glows red. Now, if we go over to Demarco, and you use it, then you can see there's a message. Who killed Demarco? So whatever this is, whatever these mystical properties, whoever's done this, it clearly wants to convince us that Demarco's been killed. What if he wasn't killed? What if it was a suicide? What if it wasn't a person? Etc, etc. Basically, people seem to think this could be a faked death. Now this opens up a huge amount of possibilities with this lantern across the whole world. But before we go into them, I do want to point out something else. The chest that you got this lantern from looks identical to the one that you get in Maiden Voyage that you dig up from the Pirate Lord. Hence, this could be Lesedi's doing, or similar. Now then, around the world on some graves, there have been notes that you're able to inspect that, when rearranged, form a conversation between two people. Starting off at Crooked Masts, you said yourself what you'd done. On Flintlock Peninsula, he made that perfectly clear. Moving on to Kraken's Fall, so I lied. On Lone Cove, you're the last person I expected here. On Ruby's Fall, just listen, none of this feels right. On Sharkbait Cove, of course it is, right from the start it has been. On Sunken Grove, don't tell me you're becoming sentimental after all this time. On Thieves Haven, this isn't a joke. And then finally on Wanderer's Refuge, you thought I'd just let this go. So ladies and gentlemen, it seems that we have two murderers on our hands. Now I know a lot of that conversation didn't really make sense, it's been rearranged the best it can be, but obviously we don't know at the moment, but this mystery is getting super exciting. Having the Fallen Sea Dog Lantern not only progresses the mystery, but also it makes us ask the question, sort of, who's put it there, how that's happened. Lesedi being there would seemingly seem innocent, but due to her dialogue lines, she is 100% a suspect. I think she was probably involved either, and she was a bit guilty, or she didn't really want to do it, but she had to, or something like that. Now, a getting quite popular theory that Captain Falco's come up with is that Demarco is in the Sea of the Damned on a mission for the Pirate Lord. Now, let's just look at the evidence for this. The Pirate Lord came to Demarco before he shut down the arena. We then find that Demarco is dead and there are no signs of struggle. You can't die in the Sea of Thieves if you take the ferry. Now Aramanta is the main suspect, but what if he wasn't murdered? And therefore, we come to the conclusion that Demarco could be in the Sea of the Damned on a secret mission for the Pirate Lord, which would make sense in the current times. However, I do kind of doubt this. Now, it's not because it's not a viable theory, but it's because of the heavy marketing and the heavy pressure that Sea of Thieves have been putting on everyone that this is a murder mystery, that someone has murdered him, and it would be a bit bad if... Don't forget, this mystery will be taking about a year if at the end of it we come to the conclusion that it was just a suicide. One final thing that's not actually related technically to this mystery I want to talk about is that it seems that Sea of Thieves somehow can sort of flick a switch and these things come into the game. I don't know when this happens or how this works, because normally if they have to port an update to the main game, they have to take the servers offline, then they have to update it, and they have downtime and whatnot. So I'm not actually sure how they can begin to roll that out, unless it... I genuinely wouldn't have a clue. I'm not that skilled in the old server technology side of things, but it's good to know and interesting to know that we're not actually going to be aware when they add stuff like this if they don't want us to be, because they literally can, at a flick of a switch, just to add the next mystery of a clue in game. Very exciting times, the plot thickens to the mystery. I'm so far actually loving this mystery. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I am currently. I thought it would be primarily speculation over months at a time. They wouldn't be this constant, this close clues together, but it seems they are. This, however, does bring us to the end of the video. Please do let me know your comments down below, as I'm really interested to hear all your theories. This is a community effort, you know. The people at Murfolk by the Ancient Isles University and all the amazing community members are all banding together to try and figure out this mystery over on Twitter and all of the social platforms. So it's a big community effort to really scratch our heads together and think who could have done this. So say, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But anyways, apart from that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like, it helps out a ton, and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Sea of Thieves news as and when it comes out. And while you're at it, why not hit the bell as well? And if you want to go the extra mile, you can become a channel member for just a small fee a month to earn loads of cool perks, rewards, and more. But anyways, apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.